and all night we'd stay up. It felt so right. We were so young, we were so dumb. We would get drunk and then hook up. We were okay, we were alright. Staying awake till the sunrise. We were in love, couldn't stop us. Like a good drug, never run. We hook up in my car, driving so far. Play your guitar, you show me your art. Let down our guards, think with our hearts. Stare at the stars, we were never apart. Drinking too young, way too much fun. Out in the sun.
Can't believe any Animal Crossing games like your type of game, PvP. PvP? You're joking, right? Her player has been devastated from 10% to 3%. Her ban rates non-existent. Her is played almost exclusively by main. She has matchups that are nearly impossible. She's used mainly as a counter pick and high elo. That's the win rate. She's easily dealt with late game when she's hard to kill. Like, I can't play late until she's 13. A little more shit anymore. A little more she would. Hold up. Read this. Read this. Gonna be a farm lane. That. Okay. Just ask Riven. When do you pick Riven? And what's your reasoning for picking Riven? You know, like what's your goal when you're playing this champion? When do you pick her? You know? What's your goal when you're playing her? And when do you think she's strongest? And what do you think her job is? Having fun. Yeah, no, okay, disregarding that, like, let's disregard the fun factor. Let's think about, for a second, when you pick this champion. She has good dealing potential. Okay, you guys need to give me more than that. Because I pick Riven. Right, okay, so this is why I pick Riven for. I pick her for scaling matchups where my mid-game power spike is stronger than the other mid-game or early-game champion that I'm playing against. So that I'm playing against Set, right? You're not supposed to win early. You win like through the mid-game power spike with 2-3 items, right? And you have more impact in the split and your ability to just like rotate faster. So Riven in that game will be stronger. This game, for example, going against Urgot, right? I'm not supposed to kill Urgot ever. We're just supposed to farm. Once I have my 2 to 3 item power spike, because Riven's a mid-game champion, not an early game champion, not a late game champion. She just spikes at 3 items or 2 items: Black Cleaver Death Dance or Black Cleaver Death Dance with GA, whatever 3 item combination you want to do. So that's when you pick her, first of all. Now, once you have that, determining your success with this champion comes in just by looking at the enemy comp. Why did you pick Riven in that comp, right? Are you looking to use her more as a split push champion? Are you looking to like impact the game more through team fights more than your opponent? Can you control your wave better than your opponent, right? All of those things you have to ask yourself before the game actually begins, and looking at both, you know, team compositions from both sides. Now, the people complaining about Riven being weak, you're just fucking picking her every game and pretending that it's fine, that you should just win every game just by picking her. That's not how it works. Nearly every single game, because my viewers want me to do that, but you should have to understand the policy or the other questions you ask. Okay, when do you pick her? You pick her every game. Okay, so you pick her every game. If you pick her every game, no matter what the matchup, no matter what the composition, she's gonna feel weak in a bunch of matchups and a bunch of compositions, because there's not really much. You shouldn't be picking her every game. You shouldn't be picking her every game. It doesn't matter if you like playing this champion or not, or if you think it's really fun, right? Like, you shouldn't be winning matchups, or every single matchup, or every single team fight, or just impacting the game more. That's not how it works. Him doing this thing's gonna get him killed, dude. Get him with a E. Okay. That got his flash. Good. What's the point of being a one-trick pony? The thing about being a one-trick, if you're a one-trick pony, you cannot play anything else. That's just because that's the only amount of time you have is for that champion, right? You don't want to learn anything else. Don't expect to be able to have the most optimal strategy every game if you only play one champion. I think that's a simple thing to understand. Anyways, it's here impossible. Okay, so if you're going against, let's say, Fiddlesticks with Morgana, right? Fiddlesticks Morgana, or they have Alistar and a bunch of like CC champions. It's still not the end of the world. You can still like just avoid them and split push and just be outside the range, just baiting them, right? But you should already know that Riven is not an optimal pick that match. So yeah, when you not pick her against aside from ranged matchups, like for example in this game, right, against Urgot and like this enemy team, Riven's not a great pick. It's really not. Like she's really not that good. It's probably better to do something that scales really well, something like a Vladimir, or honestly not even just Vlad, just any champion that scales like into the late game really well. Because this game potentially lasts. Like my team wants to get to late game, their team wants to get to late game. My early game power spec against Urgot, I'm weaker than Urgot the first 5-6 levels. And as I get items, like once I get like 40% CDR with Black Cleaver, I should be able to just deal with Urgot anytime I want, right? But I'm expected to lose the entire early game. I'm not gonna win. Who do you pick it to heavy CC if not Riven? Anything that deals with CC a little bit better. So like sometimes when I see like Leona and Morgana and all this other shit on the enemy team, sometimes I'll fucking just go Olaf top lane. It's like, oh, I'm getting CC'd? No, not really. I can just fucking ulti and then they can't kill me, right? You have to pick each game based on what's happening on the enemy team, you know? You can't... That's my whole point. People complaining about Riven being weak are playing here in every single comp or situation when you shouldn't really be able to pick her. And if you do pick her, it's suboptimal. And then they complain, it's like, why can't I just do this? It's because, well, you know, Riven used to be, in Season 2, Season 3, super fucking broken. Like, extremely fucking broken. To where you could just pick her into any comp, into any fucking champion, and you would still be fine. You could go against Renekton, and you could beat him in lane consistently. So you should never first pick Riven. You can do it, but you just have to know that you have to analyze the enemy comp. You have to analyze the enemy champions you're going against. It's like, well, like whenever I'm not streaming, I dodge an insane amount of times. But when I'm streaming, I barely ever dodge, and I just let the games play out. And if I have a bad composition that I'm going against, I just try to like play outside the area of where I would be getting destroyed, right? So for example, this game, I can't really hard dive their comp or anything, so this game I'm going to be focusing on split push, right? I'm going to be focusing on just keeping the Urgot on the side, and whatever type of engage or any type of situation the enemy team throws at me, I'm most likely just going to look to just pressure after they engage on my team. I'm never going to be the one making the engage. I'm never going to be the one to make the big game winning play of this game. Like, it's not happening. It's really not going to happen. Oh well, I fucked up. Back it up. He could have, dude, he could have potentially... This Urgot's not playing very well. Don't forget you're talking about you can pick Riven every... Yeah, I mean, like, if you take into account that you're just playing in low elo, right? You can just pick Riven anytime you want. But the people that are telling me, no, Riven's too fucking weak, she needs buffs, it's like, no, she really doesn't. She, like, because when Riven gets buffs, okay, this is what happens. Those matchups that are supposed to be counter picks to her, are not able to deal with her at all, right? They're not able to deal with her, they're not able to 1v1 her, they're not able to out-team fight her. And the champions that she does well against, right, that she actually just counter picks really hard, like Jax, for example, or even like the Aurelia matchup, I'd say it's like a pretty good counter matchup whenever Riven's strong, become useless, and you can't, like, if they pick Riven in the enemy team, you have to dodge, like, you just cannot play the game. For example, like Renekton right now, Renekton for Riven, if you go into a match and they pick Renekton, you shouldn't play it. You should just dodge it. There's no reason to. They made that matchup way too fucking, like, strong for one side. So I just don't even play that matchup ever. I just dodge it. Hey, here's the other thing. Once you see that shit, when every fucking champion or every player in the player base is fucking banning Riven, it's because you people just pick her in every single game. Her pick rate fucking skyrockets. Everything just works with her. That's not like, you shouldn't expect that this champion to just be like super powerful 24/7 against every matchup. That's pretty much like all I'm saying, and people can't seem to understand that. Riven's way weak right now unless he's on sort of buff. How is she weak? All the bad matchups, quote unquote bad matchups, you can at least farm against, and then you can just split push your way through most of them, and then like team fights, you can still do team fights really well. You can do everything really well with her. What's the point? I'm watching. Okay. Rotating. I'm rotating first here. Oh, not first. I'm rotating second, but I'm ditching my wave for this. Okay. See? Okay, got that. Nice job. Like, I'm telling you guys, if I ever think Riven's too weak, that to the point where she can't do anything, I'll let you guys know. It hasn't happened yet. All you guys is complaining about her being weak just kind of tilts me. Let me get a Kindle Gem. This guy TP back. You're gonna stop my recall? No. Okay. What about season tank 5 minute? There was no reason to pick her back then. There wasn't really any reason to pick her, but you could still like make her work in solo queue. Again, through that same thing, avoiding, just basically getting priority first before tanks, and then just playing off the prio to just gank mid or TP bottom, etc. But there was legitimately no reason to pick her. I'm giving this wave too. I'll give it up. All right. Yeah, no, I'm not all winning it. I think people complaining about her being weak are just upset they have to play farm lanes like set. Bro, it's like, imagine you have to go against like Kennen every game, and Kennen was actually really strong. Do you know how fucked you'd be? But we can do this. How do your parents see the flash double casting coming every time? They should, but the thing's like, since it's like it happens so quickly, it's not something that's reactable. Especially if I don't put in the auto attack first, it's not reactable. They can't really outplay it. It's more like, oh, I just have to leave the lane in order to outplay it, you know? If we ever release a matchup guide Excel or something like that, would be so helpful. Here's the thing, man. I personally haven't really kept up with my matchup knowledge too much, like for the newer champions and all that. But there is a method that I'm pretty sure most like pro players use, which is like, you don't need to know the matchup perfectly. You just need to know how to wave manage well enough to negate bad matchups. Just holding freezes or holding waves whenever you need to, right?
watching, cause it's shocking, dropping all these top tens, I'm so stopping, it's time to live my life.
Yeah, this game's over.
Wish I could slow down time and just enjoy the climb.
I'm dead. Ooh, maybe not. Aww, his auto attack fucking hurt, man. Oh, cool. The thing is, you cannot just say farm reality below ranked because your team will lose 50%. You have to play aggressive just to win it. In lower elo, being like, if you play the matchups well enough, the players make enough mistakes from both sides, right? If you get better, you'll see all the mistakes they make, and a matchup that's like a farm matchup, like Set for example, becomes a killable matchup because they make so many mistakes stacked on top of each other. So playing aggressive is fine. Even low, like if you notice, like if I'll do, I mean, and this is like, yeah, I know it's a challenger player going into low elo and just smashing, but it's like the same. I'm just not making mistakes, right? You just have to get better. And then you'll see how those people, you can just keep killing them. That's why, like, when you're low elo, actually, and you start climbing up, you get a false sense of security in terms of, like, knowing when you win matchups or not, right? It's just because you have false knowledge. You play against, like, really bad players, and then you think you have the matchups, like, learned. You know how the matchup goes, but in reality, it's like, that's not exactly how it goes. You just see all the bad plays they're making. If you want to just get better. I mean, I'm not giving you a fucking coaching session. I'm not coaching you guys. I'm just saying, like, just blaming something else instead of self-improving won't help you out at all. And that's just a fact. In any game you play, anything you do. Your sins get good and stop bitching. That's a TLDR and a toxic TLDR. Aw, it sucks. Are you saying you're a perfect player? No, I suck. I make way too many mistakes. I'm not a fucking AI. Actually, I don't suck, okay? I don't suck. But I know that I make mistakes. I'm not a perfect player.